Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Lauren, also known as Sunset Swift 89 on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram.
And I'm Emily, Let's Be Crazy _94 on Twitter.
And we're going to talk about how we met Taylor on October 22nd, 2016 in Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas.
And yeah.
Yeah. So it all started when we bought tickets to the concert in March or April, and we were looking for contests to see if there's any way to meet Taylor. She found 3 different contests, and we both entered them.
They were like through our local radio stations.
And I entered this one on Kiss FM and didn't expect anything of it. The Monday before the show, which was October 17th, which was 1 year since I met Taylor.
And 1 year since we first met.
I got a phone call. I woke up to 3 missed phone calls from an Austin number, and I wasn't sure who it was. So I called them back, and I was sitting outside waiting for my class to start, and they were like, "Hi, is this Lauren? You've just won the Taylor Swift meet and greet." And I, I'm freaking out, in shock. They're like, "Give me all your information. I need your guest information." And I was like, well, I have to go contact Emily,
And so I take all my classes online for college this semester, and so I usually don't set an alarm. And thank Jesus, I woke up at 9:15 that morning to literally 58 texts and 20 missed calls from her. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And all I saw on the text at first was, we're meeting Taylor on Saturday, call this number by 10. And so I was freaking out. I didn't even know at this point who I was calling, what this really was. I just knew we're meeting Taylor, call this number. So I called this number, and I'd been awake for 30 seconds at this point in time, and this lady answers, and she said, I think her name was Liz, right?
Her name's Liz.
And she was like, "Hi, this is Liz with iHeartMedia." And I was like, my friend told me to call you by 10. She was like, "Are you Lauren's friend?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, congratulations, you're meeting Taylor Swift." And so I had to give her, my name and birthday, social security number, all this stuff. And then I basically, right after I found out, I called my grandma. And all I said to her was, "I'm meeting Taylor," and then I just started sobbing. I was literally laying in my bed sobbing for 20 minutes. I was in total shock and had been awake for not even 5 minutes at this point.
And then she called me after my class, and we were just freaking out. And then I started crying, and she was crying.
We couldn't even believe it. And then randomly that day, Scott Borchetta followed me on Instagram, and I was like, ironic, okay. But yeah, so that's how we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so all week, that week went by, insanely fast.
I could barely focus on my exams and everything.
It was a hot mess to try to focus on school and work, and, we had to figure out what to wear, So, I was going to the concert with my roommate, and she was going with...
I was going with my roommate, my friend from college, my friend Meredith, my mom, and my sister.
And so, we weren't really going, together, I guess you could say. So I got there at about 8:30 in the morning with my roommate, and there was probably already about 20 people in the pit line. So we got in line and then just kind of waited around, hung out, met a few people, and then Lauren got there around noon.
I got there around 11:30 to 12 because I had to wake up and take a shower and get everything organized, make sure I had my letter and everything for Taylor. And then first thing we did was when we went there after we got off the shuttle, we went straight to the will call to pick up our meet and greet. That's when it got kind of stressful because I showed them the email, I showed them the screenshot of the email, showed them my ID, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't have this, and we don't have the meet and greet, we don't know what you're talking about." I had no cell service, but by some miracle, I get a hold of her. And I'm like, "You need to get down here right now." They're saying they don't have our meet and greets. What is going on?
And so I told my roommate, all I really said was, "I'll be right back. There's an issue." And so if you were at the concert, you know that, turn 12, I guess, where everybody lined up all day, and the will call was, a good long walk. It was pretty far. And I was, speed walking over there, totally freaking out, why don't they have it? And we were given a phone number to call in case of it,
an emergency.
And so we call, and he didn't answer. So then we had to call the radio station. And while I was on the phone with the radio station, the person we were able to contact in case of any emergency, called us back, and we got it all sorted out, and they ended up just being late with the letter. They were supposed to deliver it to Will Call the day before, but somebody forgot or something.
There was
And
some weather issue or some issue that wasn't there
something.
when it was supposed to be.
And so we ended up just having to wait an hour, and we went back and met some people in the line, and then we ended up getting it. And
This is what it looks like.
here's the letter. It's pink, and it just has, like, where to meet.
And it just says, Dear
some
Formula One guest,
instructions.
and, like, meet at this place no later than this time.
And you have to wear your wristband, which...
And, yeah.
This is the
This is the-
wristband. We didn't get it with the letter. We got it.
They check your name off a list and,
Yeah.
like, check your ID
Check your
and make
ID.
sure you're you, and they give you that wristband.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And then...
So,
go ahead.
we had some extra time in between when we picked up the letter and when we wanted to get over to the meeting spot because we wanted to get there early. So we just kind of like hung out and took pictures. Like I met Rachel,
We met Stephen Layton.
Meredith,
We hung out with Cullen and Allison
and
for
Allison
a little bit.
and Maya,
Yeah, so we
and
met
Olivia, and Stacy.
I feel like Stacy. I feel like we're missing people, but we met a lot of really cool people.
And we did go to the meetup for like 5 or so minutes. Took a group picture just because it was like really chaotic, like back and forth to her car, to my car,
so much walking.
to the will call, to go to the bathroom.
We
like,
tried to get food, like
tried to get
kinda.
food. We took some pictures with people, hung out with some people for a little bit.
And then we had to, like, some people gave us some gifts and some letters for Taylor, so we were trying to get all of that organized.
We were like walking around where everyone was kind of sitting. If you had like pit, we were kind of walking around and asking if anyone had anything they wanted us to give to Taylor. Like we had a bag full of like letters and just gifts that we were gonna like put on the table since you can't actually give it to her.
Mhm.
We were gonna put it on like the gift table with other gifts. So.
And so after we went to the meetup for like a chaotic like 5 minutes, we got something to eat real quick and then went and like checked our makeup and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were walking over to the meeting place and like from a distance I was like, Lauren, is that Paul? She was like, I think.
I was like, I don't know, maybe.
And so we were like, let's go up to him and ask for a picture. And then he started walking away. And so we sort of like followed him for a second, but it wasn't like we were right behind him. We were like a good distance away. And then we ended up like going up to him and taking a picture. And he was really nice. And then we went and just sat at some picnic tables.
By the meeting spot because we wanted to make sure we were in the right
right
space early
place.
enough.
And then we ended up seeing Cassie and
Marielle
and
Lindsay.
and a few other people, but we weren't sure at that point, like if they had a meet and greet.
We
or,
didn't
like,
see them with the letter, so we weren't sure, and we didn't like want to walk up and ask if they had meet and greet because that's kind of awkward.
if they didn't.
Also, at that point, people on Twitter were freaking out about like these. And I had no cell phone service, and she had a little bit.
I barely did.
And we were, like, texting each other, and, like, no one was answering. I was trying to text all my friends who were back over in Pitt. No one knew what was going on.
My roommate, and my roommate was like, I think there's a different Pitt, but I think it's fine. Like, I don't have another wristband, so I don't know. And so we were, like, really confused at that point.
And she had got me the paid Pitt upgrade, like, the Friday before the show for super cheap so I could be with my friend. And we were very worried about being able to push our way back to where our friends are so we could watch the show with them.
And so then we ended up, it was like really close to 5 and they started checking our IDs and everything and putting the wristbands on. And Lauren asked the person checking.
The guy like who checked us in he asked if we were here for the meet and greet and we're like, yes, we have this letter, like it says to meet here. I saw that he had like 2 sets of wristbands on his like clipboard when he was checking names off. And I asked him, is there a difference between the green and the purple? And he was like, well, maybe, but I can't tell you, but I'm just going to give you both. And so we were like, okay.
Like, thank you.
Because we knew this one, the purple one,
was the meet and
greet.
Was
meet and greet. But we didn't know what the green one was for because
it was chaotic.
It was too chaotic and there was no service. So we couldn't get a hold of anyone who was who had all the green wristbands. So they like double check our IDs and we fill out
waivers. They
line us up and we had to fill out this like waiver
on
which was like
iPad.
On this iPad, which was like really weird. And it basically said that like any footage they take, any pictures, any videos, anything can be like posted on her Twitter, on Taylor Nation, on her website, like anywhere, which was like this was really weird because no one really has had to fill out waivers except for Secret Sessions people. Mm-hmm. So we were, like, confused. And they had all of like the radio / connections people in one line, and then they had these fans in
Other
another
people.
line.
And there was only probably like 20, maybe 25 total, like
Maybe
of
30
both
maybe?
groups.
Maybe 30?
30.
If 30.
And
Super small number, basically.
so then like Allie came and she was talking to the people in the other line, and then they were like, okay, there was what, like 7-ish of us radio winners?
Yeah, there was like,
They took us all down first, and it was like Naomi Oakes and her mom and their friends, and then
some other people with
us,
connections, and then us.
and then some other, like 2 other radio winners, and they started taking us down.
They took us down.
They're like, put your phones away. And
no
so
phones out, no
I was
nothing
like,
out.
oh my gosh, like this is happening. Like this is really
we're
happening.
like trying to freak out and trying to like practice what we're going to say to Taylor.
We were like
and
talking to each other as if each other was Taylor. And then they ended up bringing like pretty soon, like only maybe like a minute or two after us, they
brought them down in, but they brought us into this like really sketchy tent. It was sketchy. Which is kind of like backstage behind the little amphitheater. And we're just kind of waiting in there, and we see like bags of merch, but like we weren't sure what they were for.
Mm-hmm.
They just told us to put everything down, and we were all kind of like mingling and like kind of talking about like we're excited, like we're nervous, like what's gonna happen,
like practicing what
and
we're
then
gonna say.
A little bit after, maybe like 5 minutes later, they brought the whole fan group in, which was a lot of people from like Tumblr and Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
And then there was like 3 camera guys in there just like filming everybody.
Oh yeah, that was like the weirdest thing
interviewing
ever.
some people, and then
so we're mingling and we're
just like chilling in the line
and talking to Allie.
And then Allie comes up to me and Lauren, and she was like, "You're Emily and Lauren, right?" And we were like,
yeah. She's like, "Oh yeah, I see your tweets all the time. Like, thanks for being so supportive."
Say hi, and we were like, "Oh hi," and like talking to her for a second, and like I told her it was my 13th show and stuff, and like it was pretty chill. And then a little bit after that,
they gathered us all in there, and we put our stuff down, and for some reason the other group of people got their merch. I don't really know.
Yeah, it was kind of like confusing for a second who was all supposed to get merch. And then Mama Swift came in, and this was so cute.
And Scott, I think Scott came in
a little bit after her.
Yeah.
And she was like saying hi and stuff, and then this is when we kind of realized that the other group didn't know they were meeting Taylor yet. She was like, "Well, I was thinking, and Taylor was hoping she could hang out with you guys." And everyone just starts crying.
Like, I start crying. She's crying. Naomi's crying.
People are dropping onto the ground. Like, it was
like Cassie,
so emotional and cute. Cassie was the cutest thing. Like, it was so cute.
And everyone was crying. They were filming. They filmed us.
One camera guy was like on us. A lot of people were by like Cassie's group. Like, it was so cute. And then Scott came in, and he was giving everybody guitar picks, and
there's one of them.
I got
like 6 or something.
Yeah, we got like 6 between the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they were like, the security that was in there was like, we're gonna wand you down like at an airport. And so like 2 by 2, we went behind the little curtain, and they wanded us down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, okay, we're gonna take you into another tent. And I was like totally freaking out. I was like trying not to cry. And they were like, make sure you stay in a specific order. And I was like, that's kind of weird, but like.
But for some reason, we kind of like got out of order or something.
Somehow.
I don't really know what happened.
In the process of getting wanded down, we got out of order. But so we walk over from the other tent. It was like a really short walk, and Mama Swift and Scott Borchetta were standing outside the tent.
And like, I wanted to hug them, but I didn't know if I was supposed to because I thought they were kind of like rushing us, and I wanted to stay in order.
Get out of the line.
And I was like, I didn't really know if I was like allowed to hug her, and I was like kind of in shock when she first walked into the room. I was like, I don't really know if I'm allowed to like hug her. Like, what am I supposed to do?
And like the room that we met Taylor was set up like not like loft, but like kind of.
Like they had couches, and I'm pretty sure they had food.
They had some food in there,
and they had like a curtain that separated her and like the rest of the room.
Yeah. And we were the 3rd group that was going to meet her. And so when we lined up, like, the curtain was here, and she was behind it, and we were, like, right here.
And you could hear her talking to the group.
And the second you could hear her talking, I just started crying, and Lauren goes, look at me right now. You cannot cry. And I was like, okay. And so we pulled it together, and then
they asked us, I think it was
Erica came up to us, I think. And
asked us what we were wearing.
Down what we were wearing, so they sent us the right picture.
Because it was sent to our emails.
Even though in the end they ended up sending us the wrong one, but they fixed it like right away. It was fine.
I emailed them like it was at like midnight, and I emailed them, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, here's the right picture."
Yeah,
and
they were really good about that. And then
because we got it late that night, which was
yeah.
really nice because the other time I met Taylor, I had to wait like 2 days, which was like the longest wait of my entire life.
And so Naomi's group, if you don't know who she is, she's little girl. She had cancer, and Taylor donated money and everything, and they were so sweet.
They're like the sweetest family ever.
Gosh.
Like, look them up on like Facebook and stuff.
They are so sweet. They went right before us, and I was like, we were so nervous, and then they were like, okay, next group, and I was like, oh no, like, can I go? Like, I'm so scared. And when you walked in, you kind of like turned a corner a little, and I ended up going, like, right before Lauren. Like, we tried to walk in right next to each other, but it was, like, a hot mess. And so I see her, and let me tell you this. She looks like a wax figure. She is so beautiful. Like, she doesn't look real. And I kind of, like, I stopped walking. Like, I didn't, like, go straight up to her. And she just looks at me, and she goes, hi, honey, I'm so happy you're here. It's so good to see you, and comes and hugs me. And I was like, oh, hi, like, okay. And then she basically said the same
thing. I walked in, like, right after, and, like, I walked straight up to her and, like, gave her a hug after she, like, hugged you. And then we just kind of, like, we both introduced ourselves.
Yeah, and
it's kind of, like, back and forth between the two of us, like, talking to her. Like,
we got, like, a good, like, 1.5 to 2 minutes with her. We both had decent conversations
I thanked her for clean, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is my 7th show. And she's like, well, 7 is a perfect number.
And then I was like, it's my 13th show, and she goes, see, I told you 13 is magical, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then this was so cute. So we told her that we're friends because of her, which we are, and she did this cute little thing. She was like, yes! She was like, that is so awesome. I'm so glad you guys are friends. And then I talked to her about Mean, and then what else did you talk to her about?
I mentioned Rachel, like, her Twitter's SparksFlyRed. She's SparksFlyRed13, I think. She was Swift Miss, and she's, like, one of my really good friends. And I was like, oh, yeah, Rachel from Swift Miss is here. And she's like, oh, my God, yes, that's great.
And you mentioned Meredith, right?
And I mentioned Meredith. And then
I mentioned Stephen Layton. And she was like, I'm so excited they're here. Tell them hi. And then I talked a little bit about one of my Tumblr posts where I was laying on the ground outside her high school that she had liked way back in February. So I figured she probably wouldn't remember. But she was like, of course I remember that. That was so cute. You were so ridiculous. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, thanks.
And at some point she said that we were both cute and adorable and that she loved us. And then when she, like, saw me, she was like, hey, buddy.
It was so cute. And she talked to us about being sick. She was like, go figure, my one show this year. And I was sick. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was so sweet.
And then when they take the picture and she asked her for one
more hug.
And then I asked her for another hug.
And when...
like, you never know when you're going to hug her again.
Exactly. And when I was hugging her that last time, I was like, I love you so much. Thank you for everything. And she was like, oh, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming. And then
I hugged her and was like, I love you so much. Thank you so much. And she looks at both of us and she's like, I'll see you out there.
And we were like,
and we like exited the room and they gave us our little autographs. Like the autographs. And we're walking down these like little stairs and I almost fell.
And we had to go back in the other tent.
So and I was crying.
Go downstairs and then upstairs and into the tent. And we just start hugging and crying.
We just start hugging and crying. And like we're crying and we're trying to find our phones.
We're trying to get our bags.
We're asking Allie, can we get our phones out? Like,
and she was like, yeah, take your phone out. And then she was giving us our merch, which we got.
We got
the F1
shirt, and then
the tour book from 1989. And so she was giving us our merch, and then Allie looks at me and she goes, I have to tell you something. I was like, okay, like, I hope I didn't do something wrong. Like, what's up? She was like, I just wanted you to know, like, Taylor wanted to meet you, and we were going to contact you, but then we saw Lauren win the contest, and that's why we didn't. And I literally looked at Allie, and I was like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, you have no, like, that, literally, to know that she wanted to meet me, like, that was crazy to me. Like, I was, like, in complete shock at that point.
And, like, we both just kept, like, thanking Allie and, like, hugging Allie.
She is so sweet.
Because she's really nice, and so is the other lady, Missy who works for Taylor Nation.
They're both so sweet.
They're both really nice. And so was the guy who, like, checked us in, too. Yeah. Basically, everyone who worked for Taylor Nation
was, like,
really
sweet.
Really helpful.
And then we took some pictures with Naomi and her friend, and we were, like, trying to take Snapchat videos of ourselves and, like, call our moms.
They're so ridiculous. And then
Cassie walked
came in,
and we just all hugged them,
and we're crying, and there's camera guys filming everything.
It was adorable.
And they filmed our meet and greet as well.
People said there were camera guys in our meet and greet, but like honestly, I don't even remember the photographer until we took the picture. Like it was literally like me, Lauren, and Taylor. That's all I remember
seeing when I first walked in. I do remember seeing the camera guy, Erica, and somebody else.
Yeah, but it was all.
I'm pretty sure they were filming it because they filmed basically
everything,
the whole thing, like
from when we went backstage until we got off the bus.
And once everyone had like met Taylor and got their pictures with Taylor, they were like, okay, so we're gonna put you on this bus and we're gonna take you to some special pit.
And I was like, praise God, because I did not feel like walking anymore.
I walked. I was wearing.
It hurt so bad.
I was wearing like ankle boots and they were really cute, but my feet hurt so bad. I walked like 9 miles that day. I swear,
crazy.
My feet hurt so bad. But I was like, put us on a bus. That's what That's what this was for. It was a pit in front of the pit that people paid to upgrade. It was like on
both sides of the catwalk. And so they put us on a bus, and they were still filming us on the bus.
And
they were interviewing some people.
Everyone was crying and calling their moms. And this person, I don't know who it was, but somebody's like, "This is fake. This is not real."
And it was like so much happiness. It was adorable. And then they took us like as close as they could get us on the bus. And then Allie walked us up until you had to walk through this like tunnel kind of. If you were there, you know
that was sketchy.
And then she walked us up, and we all had to like put our arm in the air with our band on.
And Allie was like, "These people with the green wristbands, they are getting to pit. They are going in pit. Make sure they get there." So we didn't have to like pull out our tickets or whatever.
And so it was a little confusing. Some of the security was like kind of confused.
They were like, "What is this wristband? We don't know what this is."
And some of our wristbands had R's and some had L's for left and right. So it was like a little bit confusing for some people, like the security and whatever.
Most of ours were R's. If you got them from Taylor Nation from the meet and greet, they were R. But if you got them from the meetup, because that's where they gave them out,
some were L. Most
of them were L.
And so we get in the pit, and like the first person we like talked to was Jillian, and we were like hugging her and like crying and like freaking out with her, and it was a really good time. And obviously the concert was so good.
That was my first time ever seeing Taylor in pit because I haven't been able to afford pit or like get pit for any of the other tours. So I was, like, super excited, and then to top it off, I had met her, like, right before, so...
It was really surreal, like, seeing her on stage after meeting her. Like, it was kind of, like, mind-blowing.
It's so weird, like, you were just hugging her, and you were just having a conversation with her, and she doesn't look real.
At all. Like, and obviously, like, from the stage, she looks beautiful. Like, she looks beautiful in pictures. Like, it's a different... She
looks like a Barbie doll. Like, she doesn't look like there's...
Flawless.
Like, literally looks perfect. There's nothing wrong with her, like...
And she, like Lauren had said, she told us she would see us out there. And during 22, which I was really excited because I heard 15 live when I was 15 and got to hear 22 when I'm 22, so I was really happy. She literally, like, stared
right at us
eyes at one point, and we were like, what just happened right now? And
she did Enchanted.
We both cried during Enchanted.
I, like, basically fell to the ground, like, hysterically crying. I'm hugging the girl next to me. I don't even know the girl next to me. She just sees me crying and, like, gives me a hug, and I was like...
I was literally like, what the hell is happening? Just, like, crying, like... It was crazy. And the concert went by, like, so quickly.
So fast. It was, like, shorter than her...
usual tour shows.
It was, like, an hour. I want to say it was, like, an hour
and a half,
which is kind of sad, but I was like... Because, you miss her, obviously.
And then when it was over, we had, like, a interesting time trying to find her mom and our friends and stuff because
I had no service, and my mom had no service, and my whole group that I was with got split up because I got the special pit upgrade, and then Meredith
and my friend
were in the paid pit, and then my mom's sister and other friend were in the general admission, which was a hot mess.
And so I was on the phone with my roommate Sarah, and I was trying to tell her, meet us where we waited in line all day, and she could not hear me. Like, it was chaotic. Like, we were trying to not get separated from each other walking out, me and Lauren. And then we finally, like, met up with Sarah and Meredith and Stacy and a few other people. And I took a picture laying on the ground because I was like, now I have to do it all the time because Taylor thinks it's cute. So, like, it's a thing. And we were all, like, hugging our friends and, like, telling them, like, everything. And it was just such a
lot of people came up to us. They, like, overheard us talking about it, and they were like, oh, my God, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. Like, you met Taylor. Like, that's so great. And I had people who came up to me and were like, thank you so much for, like, giving my letter to Taylor. Like, thanks for putting it in, like, the gift bag with everything else. Like, thank you. And I was like, no, it's no problem. Like, it's like, I'm, like, happy to help you get your
Yeah.
letter, like, directly, well, as directly as possible
to like
to
Taylor
Taylor.
Nation. And,
But it got to Taylor Nation because they were in charge of the gifts, and there was only, like, 2 gift
Like,
bags.
2.
Mine and then someone else's.
Yeah, ours and someone else's, and then like 1 letter. So,
But I had to, like, go all the way to her car and get my stuff, like my Polaroid camera.
yeah, it was a hot mess, but it was very worth it. And Taylor, honestly, like, is the sweetest. Like, I thought I was gonna go in there and forget everything I wanted to say.
Oh, so
I
did
thought I
I
was gonna go in there and cry. I thought it was gonna be a hot mess. But she literally treats you like you are her best friend in the world, and she is so nice.
And it wasn't really rushed either, and I thought it was going to be rushed because I didn't know what time she was going on stage. So, like, I was like, oh, they're going to rush us through. Like, they have a ton of people after us. But, like, we were in there for a good
minute and a half,
2 minutes compared to when I met her in Dallas, and it was, like, 30 seconds.
And she, like, took her time with both of us. Like, we both got, like, 4 or 5 hugs. Like, she really... Like,
she also smells really good. People say that, and I didn't notice that the first time I met her.
Does.
But, like, she really does. And I don't know what shoes she was wearing, but her outfit was really cute.
And it was really funny because Lauren and I were both wearing black crop tops.
Yeah,
and before the concert, I told... There we
go.
Before the concert, I said to Lauren, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Taylor was wearing a black crop top and we all had black crop tops?
And
she was. And it was really...
But the only bad thing is we got sunburned. Well, I got, like, really sunburned.
I had no idea that I was even sunburned until I saw this meet and greet
picture.
Oh,
yeah, look at it.
Look at my arm, guys. What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I had arm lyrics.
Sunburn.
Like, they were sunburnt into my arm. And I literally ate, like, no food all day because I, like, was afraid I was going to throw up before Taylor.
We both had that day
I think we had a donut and water.
That's all we had that day.
And I don't know how I survived.
And
I ate a breakfast taco for breakfast and then a donut. And then a donut at the show.
No, I didn't even eat anything. Like,
and that was it.
My donut was breakfast. Like, that's all I had that day.
That's all I had that day. And then I went home at midnight and, like, ate a snack.
Yeah, I had tacos.
And then they ended up
They emailed us a picture that night.
Like, really late that night. And I was, like, impressed.
I was happy that we got it.
Got it so soon.
I still feel like it's not real. Like, she doesn't seem real. And...
yeah.
That's pretty much it. We'll probably insert a few pictures in this.
And videos, maybe.
Maybe videos. And, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.